Thank you. We'll start off the meeting with announcements. I do have an announcement myself. An honor student named Maxine asked me to plug this survey. So if you guys wouldn't mind just scanning that and filling it out at some point. The survey on governance, which pertains to us, so thank you all. Oh, and one other thing I'd like to add, since we are approaching elections time and the nominations period has started, I'd just like to clarify that the current policy is that during official SGA meetings and in the SGA office space, campaigning is not allowed, and that includes the collection of nomination signatures. So again, please do not ask for nomination signatures during SGA meetings or in the SGA office. Is that clear? Okay, thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition to make an announcement? Senator Tick, you're recognized.
Hi, so my friend is the president of the Peace Talks Club, and tomorrow they're having an event, just like a big discussion with a few different groups. I highly recommend y'all check them out. They're on Instagram, and it's a really great way to connect with different groups of students that may vote for you and represent them and understand their interests and even understand more about like issues going on right now. So check it out.
Any questions? Perfect, thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition? Chair Kim, you're recognized.
Okay, delivering this on behalf of Gabriel Heredia, who is the elections chancellor right now. Just as a reminder, as Ishan just said, nominations period closes this Friday, which is in just over 48 hours at 11:59 p.m. There will be meetings on Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m., which is February 21st and February 22nd for candidates. If you want to be on the ballot and not as a write-in, you have to attend one of these two meetings. Again, that's at 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. You don't have to make both, just make one of them. And if you have any questions, email him at sjaelections@umass.edu. Yeah, just hold one of those dates and times. One other thing, you're only allowed to go to that meeting if you get all of your signatures, and they'll reach out to you to confirm it by ideally Saturday afternoon to make sure that, yep, you have your 50 or 200 or 250, depending on what you're running for. I also recommend that people get around like 60 if you're going for senator, just in case people mess up something in there and you just want to have a few extra ones. Yeah, best of luck to everybody.
Thank you. Are there any questions about that? All right. Any other individual seeking recognition to make an announcement? Senator Siegel, you're recognized.
Hi, everybody. So I've got a great update on what Dale talked about last week, and what the resolution that we passed last semester about Kiv, who was a student who was suspended from UMass for participating in a career fair protest last semester. So the update is that Kiv sued UMass. And the court has granted an injunction in which Kiv will be able to attend classes for during the duration of the case, which will probably last up to 2 to 5 years. So he's going to be able to basically complete his undergraduate time at UMass, which is absolutely wonderful news. Yeah, thank you. That does deserve a round of applause, I think. But so I've got a quick thing that Dale wrote that he wanted me to read about this. Okay. In regards to the speech Dale gave last week, Kiv won his injunction. Judge Trapani ruled that the university's claims of, quote, hardship were speculative and that Kiv's First Amendment rights were likely violated. He will be allowed to continue classes while the court case is ongoing, which is expected to take 2 to 5 years, effectively allowing him to finish his degree despite the administration's attempts to stop him. This ruling proves the Reyes administration is, 1, legally illiterate. They tried to defend a case using, quote, speculation that contradicted their own internal evidence in the legal world. quote, speculative is a polite way of saying you're making things up. 2, hostile to civil rights. A judge had to stop them and stop them from committing, quote, gross First Amendment violations. 3, fiscally irresponsible. They're burning tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees to defend a suspension that was just labeled a likely constitutional violation. Being told by a judge that your core legal argument is speculative is the kind of professional stain that follows a lawyer to the board of bar overseers. It proves that Admin and Michael Berryhoven were more interested in retaliation than in the law. It's a disgusting showing of gross incompetence from the administration, and they must be held accountable. So that's what Dale Dale sends his regards to the Senate. But yeah, wonderful news. Give us back.
Thank you. Are there any questions about that? All right. Does any other individual seek recognition and make an announcement? Chair Trong, you're recognized.
All right, 2 things. First, first thing is the Financial Policy Reform Subcommittee. I plan on launching that sometime next week. I need a couple more senators to join the subcommittee, and we are also accepting share applications for the subcommittee. Brief breakdown of some of the things that are kind of on the strategic plan right now is the Recwell MOU, with addendum stuff being required at 3rd 3/2, as well as benchmarking some stuff for next year for the Recwell MOU. There's some stuff with grant compilations for RSOs to provide better funding resources, as well as with financial outreach, which is something that we have traditionally struggled with as an institution. And then also the endowment initiative, which we are working with the Vice President on for their next fundraising campaign. So if any of that interests you, please send me an email. If you want to apply for chair, please fill it out. Applications are due on Friday at 5 p.m.
Senator Lamore, go ahead. The question? Oh. Are there any questions? All right, thank you. You got another thing?
Yeah, another thing, I think it's really important, especially for leadership, as we're all on payroll and we're all public representatives here for the students here at UMass, to please fill out the cross-branch tracker, so that way we can publish that to the undergraduate student body, and so also for cross-branch communication.
Are there any questions about that? All right, thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition to make an announcement? Senator Walker Hoover, you're recognized.
Greetings, everybody. It's been a minute. Senator Walker Hoover. It's been Black History Month, so I've been a little bit busy, but I got good news. LegCon, the deadline got extended to February 27th. What is LegCon? It's the National Student Grassroots Legislative Conference. Happens annually in DC from March 21st to March 19th to March 23rd. Some of the skills that they're going to be focusing on in this specific conference is running a real vote campaign on campus, building statewide student associations, organizing workshop on leadership development training, and digital organizing training. They're also going to be talking about critical issues such as student debt, education, censorship, trio and upward bound, campus censorship, academic freedom, and the Student Labor Action Project, while also learning to host statewide advocacy days and writing how to learn how to write winning policy. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. It's a great opportunity to get involved and do something for your community.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Perfect, thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition to make an announcement? Secretary Nevins, you're recognized.
I'm going to be a little interactive with you guys, so bear with me and get off your phones or your computers or whatever. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Community Scholars Program. This is a program that's in the Honors College. Before you ask, you don't have to be in the Honors College to apply. It's really fun. I'm in the program right now. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. So, how many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed by the state of the world? Just raise your hand. Come on, there's way more of you. Come on, you're not worried about what's going on everywhere. Oh my gosh, can we not have a little enthusiasm about the state of this country and the world? Wow, guys, are we so asleep? Goodness. How many of you would like to find more community here at UMass? Come on. Jeez. Miles, you have all the community you need. Yeah, I'm glad that you've gotten there. Anyway, these are some really big issues. There are lots of people that can't find the community that they want to be a part of in UMass, and there are a lot of not so terrific things happening all over this country and the world. So I'm here today to shed a little light on what we can do as students here at UMass. So I want to talk about what the Community Scholars Program is and why I am a part of it. So first of all, it's a terrific space. It's a place where we can talk about the process, the things that are going on in the world, and it can be a safe space to discuss that. And what we as students can do about it. If you join CSP, you get to take on 4 consecutive classes over 4 semesters. So you need 4 semesters left. I'm sorry to my awesome juniors and seniors out there. Y'all great, y'all low-key hunk. It's okay, we're gonna get there. We start off a lot of the classes with just checking in, and then we do visioning. These are all really great things in regard to advocacy. When you're advocating for things, you need a vision. You need a point B, because if you only have a point A and then there's just nothing to go towards, what are you advocating for? That's the kind of ideating that we do there. You also simultaneously get to be engaged in a social change movement or project on campus or in the broader community. So we have 4 different core areas. Land Back, which is rematriating land to Native groups, Native people. We're doing that right now in Belchertown with the Hatsumiko band and the Nipmunk bands. Yeah, they're about the same thing. Anyway, that's a huge program that's affecting the state that we get to be a part of in this program. You also get to be a part of mutual aid groups. How many of you have heard me talk about the Food Recovery Network? I'm involved with that group. I help give out food every Thursday. That's something that I get to be involved in and get academic credit for because of this class. Also, reproductive justice and advocacy areas there. I don't know if any of you know UMass Students for Reproductive Justice. That group spawned out of this program. It's just a really great space and a really great place. It fulfills lots of upper level credits. I'm doing my thesis in the program right now. If you're a public health major, that will take care of your thesis in its entirety. When you get to write a thesis, it's super duper long. This gets to be about something that you actually care about, something that's affecting you and the people around you. It's such an incredible opportunity. I'm grateful that I get to be in it every day. When terrible things happen, we get to discuss them, we get to have real conversations about them, and that is something that is so invaluable. That's really what the wrap about this all is. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. I have some flyers. There are some QR codes, scan them, apply. I know right now we had huge turnout last year, about 40 students applied. I know if we can get twice as many, we might even be able to get a second cohort of the program, which would be super great.
If your major is something like not related to policy, like I'm a finance major, for example, and honors, could I do my thesis in that class?
I am an OIM major in Eisenberg, and I'm doing my thesis in that class. You just wouldn't have a departmental honors, you'd have a multidisciplinary honors, which I think, especially in regards to this class, kind of when you get into the Community Scholars Program, you're almost near destined to get the CEP certificate, which is Civic Engagement and Public Service, which is also super valuable for, drum roll please, your resume, which is super important. Yeah.
Is that like, what they put it on your transcript on your, I don't know what.
You would still get honors on your diploma and whatnot. Any other questions? Cool. If you want a flyer, I will have them. I will be in the back. Only take one if you actually want one, because I didn't print a lot, because trees are great.
Thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition? Chair Mello, you're recognized.
Hey guys, I'm looking for someone who can do a meeting. It's 2:30 to 3:30 or 3 to 4 on Tuesday, March 24th. Want to check your schedules? March 24th, it's a Tuesday, 2:30 to 3:30 or 3 to 4. If you can, please reach out. We need people to be able to join this super important meeting for Distinguished Teaching Awards. So, thank you.
Thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition? Senator Tackey, you're recognized.
Hi all. Rules and Ethics is going to start competing next week, and I was just wondering if any senators would like to join the committee. It will give you a lot of useful. It will give you a lot of useful experience in terms of investigations and getting to know more, just about how things work in the SGA. If you would like to, please come up to me after Senate and let me know, and I will put your name down and put you on the email list. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any further announcements? Chair Hood?
Hello, everybody. Let me keep this on. The RSO feedback form is finally live. We're really looking to get some data from RSOs on how they're feeling about the SGA, how they feel supported, what concerns they have. We talk a lot about problems that RSOs face, but it would be really nice to get some real data from the RSOs themselves rather than what we perceive. So if you're in an RSO, please fill it out. If you are connected to RSOs, please tell them to fill it out because they all their e-boards received an email through a Campus Pulse relay this afternoon. And I also just sent the link to all the senators through the response to the announcement from Cody. Also in there is a form from Darren on RSO funding and grant compiling opportunities. So very helpful if you guys would fill that out and help spread the word on that. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Does any other individual seek recognition? Yes, you're recognized. Do you want a mic? And if you wouldn't mind stating your name for the record, please.
Hi guys, I'm Kaylee from Amherst student. I just wanted to put this on your radar. We're doing our Hunger Free Campus Lobby Day again this semester on March 12th. For a refresher, this is when we go out to the State House in Boston and we meet with senators and representatives and talk about the Hunger Free Campus Bill, which allocates money in the state budget towards programs that fight food insecurity across Massachusetts. And it's a really cool opportunity for your network, practice and master these skills, and actually upon an exciting update from the last one that we had in November, the governor passed her version of the budget, and she allocated $500,000, which although that's very exciting, we are asking to increase that to $3 million. So hopefully when it gets through House and Senate, we can get that secured. But we're going again, it's a Thursday. We'll be back just for more announcements about it, with like natural RSVP. I just want to put it on your radar if you're interested in going, definitely talk to us, and just if you have to get like class excuse from your professors, just leave a month out. Tanisha came last time and it was really awesome. So if you have any questions or anything, definitely reach out. Yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. There being no more individuals seeking recognition, the Associate Speaker will record the beginning roll call.
Senator Ashrafi.
Here.
Senator Ashrafi, present. Senator Baumann. Senator Baumann, present. Senator Baker. Senator Baker, present. Senator Blair. Senator Blair, present. Senator Breen.
Here.
Senator Breen, present. Senator Calvo.
Here.
Senator Calvo, present. Senator Chalma.
Here.
Senator Chalma, present. Senator Chaparro.
Here.
Senator Chaparro, present. Senator DeRiggi. Senator DeRiggi, present. Chair Domi. Chair Domi, present. Senator Dang. Senator Dang, present. Senator Pacheco. Senator Pacheco, present. Senator Haycock. Senator Haycock, present. Senator Espinal. Espinal, absent. Senator Hernandani. Hernandani, present. Chair Hood. Chair Hood present. Senator Huang. Senator Huang present. Senator Connor present. Senator Keel. Senator Keel present. Chair Kim. Chair Kim present. Senator Coyson. Senator Coyson present. Senator Moore. Senator Moore present. Senator Murray. Senator Murray absent. Senator Martos.
Here.
Martos present. Senator Meeson. Senator Meeson absent. Chair Mello. Mello present. Senator Morales-Aquino. Morales-Aquino present. Senator Nalivo. Nalivo present. Senator Ng. Senator Ng present. Chair Nguyen. Nguyen present. Chair Nika. Chair Nika present. Senator Dish Patel. Senator Dish Patel absent. Senator Rai Patel. Senator Rai Patel present. Senator Rhea Patel. Senator Rhea Patel present. Senator Reed. Senator Reed present. Senator Rogers. Senator Rogers present. Senator Saini. Senator Saini absent. Senator Shudy. Senator Shudy present. Senator Siegel. Siegel present. Senator Sun. Senator Sun present. Chair Svirsky. Chair Svirsky present. Senator Tacky. Senator Tacky present. Senator Tajwani. Senator Tajwani present. Senator Tao. Senator Tao absent. Senator Tick. Senator Tick present. Senator Torngrid. Torngrid present. Chair Tron. Chair Tron present. Senator Volatka. Senator Volatka present. Senator Valencia Gallego. Gallego absent. Senator Vander Wilson. Vander Wilson present. Senator Verma. Senator Verma present. Senator Walker Hoover. Walker Hoover present. Senator Wu.
Present.
Senator Wu present. Senator Golu. Senator Golu present. With 49 voting members and quorum is present.
Thank you. The minutes from the last Senate meeting were sent out 48 hours prior. Are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, there being none, the minutes stand approved without objection. The Senate will now stand in recess and the Committee of the Whole shall be in session to go through the basic needs initiatives presented by the Dean of Students Office. Pursuant to Title II, Chapter 31, Section 9, subsections 1 and 5, when Committee of the Whole is called into session, parliamentary procedure is suspended, and the Senate may not take any official votes or actions. I would now like to invite up Director Hines and Dean Cardoso-Arase to give the presentation.
Hello, good evening. How y'all doing? I need more energy than that. Many of you have known me already. My name is Patricia Cardozo, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students, and have my colleague here.
Yeah, hello, good evening. I'm Bridget Hines. I'm the inaugural Director of Basic Needs Initiatives, a big step for UMass. I have the great pleasure to have been here at UMass for almost 14 years now. Before this, I was the director of the Upward Bound trio programs here and work closely with Student Bridges, which is how I know some people in the room. So good to see you.
So today we are here, thank you, Ishan and SGA for the invitation. Really want to talk about what is basic needs and also the vision that we have for the future. And so for context, I've been with the Dean of Students in one capacity or the other for the last almost 20 years. I know I'm only 25, but I've been there almost 20 years now. So I have been involved in one way or another in the evolution of how we set up basic needs program. So we are clear that across the country, basic needs is an issue that affect college students. Before we go to that, I want to give a context about where basic needs sit. So here, Student Affairs is organized into collaboratives. So I oversee the Dean of Students Collaborative, which encompasses of the Student Conduct and Community Standards Office, our new student and family programs, where orientation is all planned, the Dean of Students Office, the Charles River Student Life, so all of really student affairs at the Charles River campus, and then Student Legal Service Office. Under the Dean of Students Office, we have a couple programs. One is case management. Case management are staff that work with students when things are just not going well. That's the best way I can explain it. And the goal is to help students. It could be post-hospitalization. It could be when everything that you can think fall apart is falling apart. And their goal is just to get students connected in a good way to the resources that exist at UMass. The student parent programs is a program that work with students who are parents. So they provide wraparound services to students who are parents. So that includes helping them find childcare. We do have a significant federal grant that provides childcare subsidies to students. That includes both graduate, all of our programs serve both graduate and undergraduate parents. Basic Needs Initiatives, which is the newest initiative that we have in our office. I'm gonna skip that and talk about off-campus student life. Off-campus student life is the office that works with commuters and students who are moving off campus or live off campus. So you know the lounge in Bartlett, off-campus student lounge, where you can get free coffee. Just allows students like to come for the free coffee, a study space, printer, but also access to, I'm trying to find off-campus housing, here's my budget, here's what I need, a bus, not on the bus, I need a roommate, all of those stuff. There's a lot of work in partnership with Student Legal Services around lease review, making sure that students who have issues with their landlords are connected appropriately with Student Legal Services around there, right? If I go back to Basic Needs Initiative, as I said, this is a new initiative in the Dean of Students Office. The Bridges position is new. The reason we have this position is because basic needs work will happen across all of the programs. So if a student may off campus, we were talking to them about housing, affording housing. They meet in case management, we may be talking about your health insurance plan is not covering your treatment that you need. So it was not happening in a cohesive way. So the Basic Needs Initiative is new. Bridget started with us about a year ago. Significant part of her work since February has been helping establishing the campus food pantry. So when we think about the university strategic plan for the common good, we don't need to even have a conversation, an argument that if a student's basic need is not met, we could not do any of this. We cannot graduate. So part of it is how do we integrate our approaches into how the university is going to meet their strategic goal. So I'm going to review briefly the programs that exist. And we are well aware that students don't know all of our programs. So that is part of the conversation that we are having. Short-term emergency loan, the first program that Dean of Students have. It is endowed program from the first Dean of Student, who was the Dean of Men, Dean Field. You can think how long ago that was. And that program provides short-term, exactly as emergency loans to students. And that can include park in the wrong place and I got a tow and a ticket, and I get paid Friday, but I need to get my car today. So we know the student has the ability to pay it back. No interest, we disperse the fund. Well, as you can imagine, what happened with those, we used to give it to students who couldn't pay it back. So now I give you $500 loan, can't pay it back. Now I have to put a hold in your account, now you cannot register, now you have other issues. So we really start thinking about, this is not gonna do it. Giving a loan to a student who don't have the funds to pay it back doesn't make sense, because now we are preventing them from registering for classes. And because it's a fund that is endowed, if we don't collect those funds, we cannot give it to other students. So it's a fund that just exists. We still give it out, but it's for students who really have those emergency, cash flow emergencies. They're able to get it. There came the Student Care Emergency Fund, what most students refer to as micro grant. Micro grant is truly a grant that's given to students. That is all fundraised. We fundraise the funds and we give it out as an application base. It is based on financial emergencies or emergency that's causing a financial issue. So things that we give it for is car broke down, I need your car to go to work. The biggest emergency that we gave out was last year after the Olympic fire. And we will go through the numbers. But those are the examples. And for most folks, they're like, oh, a fire. That was our fourth fire in 2025 that we helped students with. Because the other ones were small. It might have been just an apartment. That students lost everything. That doesn't get publicized as much when it's the incredible impactful incident of Olympic race. But those students that we had I had four seniors right in May, a week before graduation, lost everything in their house. So those are the things that microgrants can really, really helpful with. Angel Fund Emergency Grant was created back in 2016 as a response to a lot of regulation around DACA students. And it was created primarily to give emergency grants to students who are facing an emergency because of change in federal immigration law. Very, very specific. It had been dormant for a while. This past year it came back because there's a lot of more regulations and things put out around immigration. Again, both of those grants don't have to be paid back. It's just a grant that is given to students. Both are application-based. Now we go to the meal plan. We have way too many meal plan programs. We'll just announce they're here. We have the emergency meal swipe, the supplemental meal swipes, the meal assistant program, and we just recently had a conversation, not recently, like the end of last semester with dining around, this is too many programs. The service should exist the same, but for students to figure out which one do I apply for, it's too confusing. So our goal is to really simplify to one meal plan, meal swipe program, how it's funded and how the swipes come to the back. Students don't need to, because students are like, which one do I apply to? Student care supply closets, where we provide toiletry, free toiletries, and household supplies to students. There is an online shopping thing that students fill out and then they pick it up. Then the other programs that we have that we sort of work tangential with, campus pantry. So the campus food pantry, it is a long time coming dream of the Dean of Students Office. The first proposal for what the campus pantry looked like today was created in 2018 by the Dean of Students Office. Then 2021, then finally we have it open. So last year, a lot of the work that we were doing was helping them set up a pantry that met what we wanted, which is a place of dignity, a place of respect, a place that students can get what they need and not necessarily some other traditional pantry place how you just get a box and you may not necessarily, if you live in a residence hall, you're not gonna be able to cook it. So being able to set up as a grocery store. Also, we set out a lot of barriers in terms of data. Although I know the number of people, I don't know who. It was very important for the conversation I've had with students for years that they're able to access that place without any worry about who might know if they use that place or not. So we will have the number, but we don't necessarily know who. Now, I know many students who use the pantry because we send them there, we connect them there, and we are working with them. Food recovery, Jacob mentioned food recovery. That is a program that we've worked with on and off over the years, and I'm gonna put it out here. Our ask is for us to manage it. And I'm gonna put it very loudly, and I'll explain why. Because over the years, what has happened is it will dip down because students are not interested to volunteer. What the Dean of Students would like to do, this basic needs, is work with SGA to institutionalize that program and then continue to get the volunteer. But the negotiations and the supplies that they need, the Dean of Students will work with dining to have that really institutionalized. So that is a conversation to continue. And then we'll talk about some opportunities for continuing partnership. Some of the educational things that are happening is this program called Build Your Base. Bridget has partnered with the Undergraduate Student Success Center, the same place that does Smart About Money workshops, to really do a workshop that is based on what the student needs. So there's some that is really like, come fill out your FAFSA. How do you do this? Come talk about your budget for off-campus housing. How do you build that? So very timely workshops. We also do a lot of support with assessing public benefits. So we have a partnership with the Food Bank of Western Mass, where a staff member who specializes in SNAP applications. SNAP is food stamps. That person is on campus once a month and meet with students to help them apply, to help them actually fill out the application. Because there's one thing about knowing that something exists, there's another thing about actually sitting down and filling out the application and getting to those programs. And then we also do a lot of things that we do community meals. In community meals, sometimes we target specific groups. It might be student parents, it might be off-campus students, that we just do community meals to provide both information about basic needs, but also provide a meal. So you may ask, how are we funding all of this? It is let me borrow, let me give, let me ask for all of it, including the Hunger-Free Campus Grant. We have received the grant for 3 years. For the first 2 years, we were supporting Amherst Survival Center a significant amount because we had the data about how many of our students were using the program. So we continue to apply. It is continue to advocate for 3 million. I'm okay with that. And because 1 million is for the whole, all the state schools and university. So when it comes down to it, it becomes very small per school. The first year we were very lucky because they counted number of students. The second year they're like, no, we counted it differently. So we were not so lucky. We are the larger still. And it makes sense. A lot of it goes for community college to have very different level of resources. All right, so those are and then we do a lot of fundraising and drives. So supply closet is a thing that we do a lot of drives for, especially our family advisory council. There's a lot of drive for that. So.
All right, so Patricia covered a lot of our programs, but I'd like to talk a little bit about the data behind it and the usage across time. I think what we can see is that we have pretty steady usage for the Student Care Emergency Fund, where we're like our lows are in the 50,000s, our highs up around 88,000. And on average throughout the years, we have about 150 students or so applying each year. It's a very consistent and steady program we see. But one thing that we notice in our data is we have the graduate student population highly represented. And one of my goals as director is really to make sure undergraduates know about this program, which is one reason I'm really happy to be here tonight. Short-term loans are also very similar. Short-term loans can be $500 for an undergraduate, $1,000 for a graduate student. And we see very level. Of course, there's the big peak that you see during the pandemic. But aside from that, we see really steady usage of this program. A lot of people do it at the beginning of the semester if they've got a security deposit to pay or they're waiting for a student student paycheck to come in. If you just start to do your work study job but your check hasn't come in, and you know you can pay it back and pay it back without a problem, but in the short term you've got a cash flow issue. So that's why the program is used. Again, we see that within our data that certain groups, the historically under-resourced groups, are definitely one group that takes great advantage of the programs, whether it's students of color or students with disabilities, and so the programs are well used in that way. We also see a lot of international students, but again, undergraduates don't take advantage of them at the ratio that they are of the student body. So that's something that we're aiming towards, is to get information about the programs out to everyone. Our student care supply closet, if we're running at full capacity, I think we would let out the larger numbers every year. One thing that happens is that at the beginning of the semester, we open up the form and so many people apply to use the student care supply closet. There's so many people who either have need or have gotten in the habit of using it to supplement their budget. I think it's a little bit of both, because sometimes we'll see, like in the data, I applied, now my roommate applied, now my neighbor applied. Like you can create a great map of it, I think, if you visualize the data. And so that can create some basically some supply chain issues. So one thing I've done since I came on was really systematize our inventory and our forms so that we can move very quickly. Since the beginning of this semester, we filled 227 orders in the short amount of time that we've been going. And the form is open right now, so if you know anyone who needs it, one of the big things I believe is as some Basic Needs Initiative Director is that we all sometimes are going to need resources, that we should resource each other. We should let people know when they need something, and they should feel free to use it, because really life is one big activity of resourcing yourself step after step. So I hope everyone feels free to reach out for what they need. Here's our meal swipe programs. Like Dean Cardoso said, we have several meal swipe programs. This is the cumulative group of them. What we're really hoping to do is get them into one package altogether, so that behind the scenes, we're figuring out who pays and where the funds come from, but in front of the house, if you need swipes, you come to us and you can get them, and it's just simple and streamlined. You can see that the number of students is up who needs it. We have data that shows that food insecurity on campus is rising overall. And so it's it's really something that that we're working hard on all fronts to handle. This is the data from the fall of 2025. You can see with our microgrant applications, it is an application. And so many students are approved for the microgrant and a significant chunk aren't approved. And what I would say is, don't make that discourage you from applying for the microgrant, because oftentimes what we discover is, oh, this student doesn't have the maximum financial aid. This student could use X or Y instead that might better serve them or serve their finances better than $500. Or this student might be able to be connected with something that's good for them. So oftentimes the rejections that you see out there are folks who we connected with a service that's a better support for them. And sometimes, frankly, people come to us with something that's not quite an emergency. It might feel like an emergency, but if we can see you paid the bill 3 months ago and it's fine, and then you also got a big refund once in a while, we're like, no, we don't think it's that crucial. Again, with our data, you can see we're overrepresented with graduate students. One thing that's really interesting in the data overall is that we see first years don't use the services barely at all. Second years, it goes up. Third year, fourth year, fifth year, a lot. Master's students, quite a bit, and then it goes down again with PhD students. And I think that's an interesting question, is it that first years have their housing, they have their food, they have everything set, or are they just learning about campus and getting to know what resources we have available to support them? So.
And I think, if I may add, the graduate student government also has, in the last 2 years, gave us funds to support this program. So I think it's important to note that. So because we were seeing an overrepresentation of graduate students and we were shutting down the application for grads quite early, this academic year, they contribute $40,000 for this program. That goes directly to graduate students. So.
And you can see that the Olympia Fire, we did a tremendous fundraising effort and distributed those funds out to all students. But we regularly are giving out a big chunk to students in all types of emergencies, from my computer crashed or my phone, I don't have access to even my authenticator without my phone to access things, to I don't have funds to books, to my parent passed away and I have to fly home. Car accidents with a blizzard have been a big thing. So just the types of emergencies that students see, we're there to try and support when we can and when we see that the students have need. And here's some more data that sort of underlines that. The emergency fund for the Angel Fund has been of substantial interest this past year with the changes in federal immigration policy at the start of the year with civics revocations and that type of thing, and more recently with folks whose families have been affected by ICE. So, and again, you'll see the meal swipe programs. One thing with meal swipes is that if folks have a kitchen and are healthy and able to cook, then we're able to use the pantry more often, but that undergrads are the biggest proportion of who uses our meal swipes. And we've got a big group in the Olympia Fire and a big group through the fall who received supply closet packages. And lastly, probably the biggest job since I took this position was working to make sure that the campus pantry was known of in all the different sectors across campus, that everybody who is in touch with students knows about the pantry and can tell them about it. And it's really shown. You can see the usage in the number of students who are there and the individual number of shopping trips as well. I think that number is 6,641. That's a terrific number of shopping trips for people who needed some food to supplement their household, diet, well-being, etc. So the food drives have been tremendously successful. Thank you to everyone who's donated and put forward to them. We've been able to just offer so much more variety at the food pantry because of it, and show that sort of support across the community for the pantry as well. So thank you.
I would say we have a food drive coming up that I'm calling our SGA to help us out, and that food drive is during in the April, ending with the Founders Day. So Bridget will be sure to send in information to help with that, and we call it Pack the Pantry. So Now you've got some information about our data and how it's being used. Now, what is informing our work? One is data. Across the country, all the data that has been put out, including CAS standard. CAS is an organization that put out standards for programs across higher education. So in 2024, they put out the standard for basic needs program. That started to recognize that basic needs to be a university function, not just something that's added on to other things. The Hope Center out of Temple is an organization that has existed for years that has informed a lot of our work, that puts in a lot of work around best practice for basic needs. And then we talk about the Mass Hunger-Free Campus Coalition. So that group has done a lot of work to advocate. So Bridges serves as our campus point of contact. So that group meets monthly. They meet with the Board of Higher Ed. It's really to push for, one, the grant, but also more grants, process grant, time grant, all of those different things. But then also the National Center for Educational Statistics does research on college campus. And for the first time in 2023, they actually collected data around basic needs. And it's informing that basic needs continue to rise. Basic need insecurity continue to rise among college students. So that is what's informing our work. Now, if you go to the next one. Here is where I stand. One of my pet peeves, for anyone who knows me, is when a student is sent to multiple places for the same thing. Because when you're already stressed, and when you're already tired, or you're commuting to UMass, if you tell me I have to go to office A to do this, and then office B to do this other thing, and C to do this other thing, and D, I'm not going anywhere. I don't know about you, but I'm not going any of those places. Because you probably have also heard about time poverty. How much more time is it going to cost me to navigate all those resources? So currently, although the students have a lot of this program, we still have students doing this. So for a student, let's say a commuter student, let's say a student parent, an undergraduate student parent who's commuting. They're applying for the WIC, they're applying for SNAP, they're applying for Section 8, they're applying for child care waiver. That is 4 different entities. Now, our student parent programs sit with that student, help them understand the eligibility for all the programs, help them collect all the information they need, and help them apply for those programs. So we have a lot of those connections already. So there is a lot of programs that are existing. So often when students come to me like, we want to create this new initiative, you're going to hear hesitancy from me. And it's not because I don't want the program, but it's what one more stop are we going to create for the student. So our vision is really figuring out how do we make sure that the programs are accessible. So if we can go to the next one. So the Basic Needs Center will be opening up. It was announced when we announced the campus pantry. It's going to be next to the campus pantry. The Basic Needs Center is going to be a center where one stop for the student who was navigating. Because here's what we found. When a student is asking for swipes, it could be because their car broke down. And then it could be the car broke down because the father had a job, but the father then lost the job. So there is a train that sometimes if we just need the food, we are not actually addressing anything. Or if we have a sophomore who is having issues with housing, for instance, like they cannot afford the housing that they live in, or they live in with their family in Section 8 housing, and there's some complication. We can address housing, but we also want to know, how do you eat? How do you get to campus? Do you have a job? All of those things. So the goal of the Basic Needs Center is to centralize all of the information in one place, so the student doesn't have to navigate all of those different systems. So we're talking about financial. We have a strong relationship with financial aid. So Bridget mentioned earlier, a lot of students who apply for the microgrant, well, actually, you have some documents that are due to financial aid that will actually unlock additional financial aid. Why is that paper not, is this something that you cannot produce? So this is how we find students who may need to find a dependency override. That is when there's some issues with your family and you're no longer dependent. So we work very closely to the student, but we also work not to meet the need of today, but to actually set up a student for the ongoing assistance. So there's some students we can give a meal swipe for the semester, but they better set up if they actually have SNAP benefits, or both, or a combination. So the goal is to really work with the student to do an assessment of all of the things that they may need, and then sort of scale it up into what they need to do. Because there's some programs that if you qualify for one, you automatically qualify for the other. But if you apply in the wrong order, you have to do both applications. So the goal is to centralize it. And that includes childcare. We do a lot with like students who have mass health, like what are the things that you can qualify for if you have mass health, all of those things. Go for the next. So here's where we go back to the mission. This is the mission of the university. So part of it is how do we make sure students, how are we educating for the common good? And there's students who also, the university is a safety net. Bridget talked about seniors. They've been saved for 4 years in terms of, not fair, they've been secure in their financial need. But that transition to graduation looks different. Think about a student parent who may have been secure here, but now they transition. So you have employment, childcare may look different. They may not have the security of financial aid or grants that they've received. Or if they start making money, they may lose on public benefits. So we're also working on that. How do you transition to a different life? So here's what's next. So once the Basic Needs Center, we have applied, and I expecting to have an AmeriCorps Vista with us some point in the fall. And it's in partnership with the Civic Engagement and Service Learning. And the goal is that we will have fellows that work to build the capacity primarily of information. As Bridget said, we are seeing the undergraduate students are underrepresented in our data. So how do we continue to make the awareness of the program? How do we continue to make programs that are accessible? How do we not make it, I don't need a multi-page application to give support. That is I don't like when we create things more complicated than it needs to be for someone who needs assistance. So that program is going to be able to help us build the capacity to serve the campus. And the goal is to also have undergraduate students who are fellows with us who will do that work. A lot of you might be doing thesis and work that are very connected to basic needs. So it's also being able to connect, almost like Jacob talked about the Community Scholar Program, is almost similar to some of the work that Honors College have been doing, that Civic Engagement have been doing around helping students connect their academic with work. The other piece is also students might be able to get credit. Work study, that is another way to secure some students. The second thing is a strategic working group. We are this place where we have a lot of different programs, a lot of different initiatives, a lot of different things. How do we put it together in a way that makes sense? How do we set up this Basic Needs Center in terms of operations? One thing is inventories of programs and services. You probably know that colleges have a lot of emergency funds that is college-based. Sometimes you may know, you may not know. Your college may have one, may not have one. Your college may have a computer loaning program. They may have a computer giving program. Our goal is to make sure that the Basic Needs Center have all that information. So if I'm working with a student from engineering, I can for certain know that engineering has a laptop program or has an emergency grant program or have whatever the support exists, that the Basic Needs Center is fully aware to minimize the need for the student to have to navigate multiple offices and processes. Align referral pathways. In the Dean of Students, we believe in active referral. I strongly believe that I can tell a student to go to financial aid, but I strongly also believe that I can walk them there. If they're a little more like, I don't want to tell them all my business, I can build that path. Hey, here is a person that needs to do an appeal. I already facilitated that, right? It's not another thing that you added for you to go talk to another person. So how do we create those effective pathways so students can get access to the resources in the most efficient way? Strengthen partnership with community agencies. I talk about we work with a lot of community agencies. One of the key examples I can give you is the supply closet. We used to carry diapers. And we constantly got feedback from student parents that like, you don't have my size. We're like, well, we don't know all the size. Sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't, and you need to exchange size. So we were not really serving that population. By partnering with community agency, we no longer do diapers, but they have a diaper bank. So the family can get diapers as many they need, however they may need it, whenever they need it, and the size that they need it. So we do a lot of partnership with community agencies that can serve our students beyond UMass, beyond their academic career. Go back so I can remember what I'm saying. I have one more part. Yes, the last piece is establish a clear data collection and assessment and reporting practice. As I said, a lot of our programs have happened in disjointment ways. So a student might be meeting with the case manager, and it came up that they don't have meals for the rest of the semester and the meal swipes got distributed there. Or the microgrant got distributed in this other program. So our goal is to establish a clear way how we are assessing data so that we can clearly have a more understanding of who is using our service. Is it a particular time of the year? Like we have some information, but how do we collect it in a better way? So the strategic and working group will involve representatives from SGA. But my only ask is going to be that you show up. Because sometimes you don't show up, I'm just gonna call you out here. But I think we are going to work to put it on a position. And not necessarily, but think about which position in SGA makes the most sense to be the representative. Because the goal is to be, also to inform back. So if there's conversation and decision, there is a report back. And that position then becomes replaced whatever as the positions, as you elect other people, so you have a clear pathway there. We also going to be involved in the groups that we've worked with on and off. Mass Perk is one of them, SEPA is another one, food recovery students. So like thinking about all the groups we're having working, the reproductive justice, to really get in the same page about how can we facilitate students' access to the resources. For me, I don't care what we call it. Can the student walk into it and get support in one place and not having to, let me go talk to 5 different people to get one thing done? That is basic needs. So if you have questions, we'll answer them and look forward to continue to building up the partnership to strengthen the programs that we have. Okay.
Are there any questions? None? All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, I'd like to invite the Social Justice Empowerment Committee to give a quick training on ICE preparedness. So give them a hand, please.
Hey guys, my name is Esther Onyeka. I'm the chair of the Social Justice Empowerment Committee.
And I'm Justin, and I'm a senator.
So me and my committee worked on some information about ICE. We just want to make sure that you guys are being engaged right now. There's gonna be a couple more presentations for the rest of the night, so just make sure you guys are paying attention and engaging as much as you can. But basically, obviously, we've all seen what's been going on around the country about ICE, and we just want to make sure that we're all educated on what to do in case anything were to happen on campus, and just to have some basic knowledge that you as student leaders can share with people that you are representing in SGA.
So we're going to be breaking down this presentation into 3 sections. Understanding ICE, says enforcement, sorry, I can't see, but it says enforcement practice and legal rights, and then planning and action. And the reason as to why we're having this conversation and this presentation is because we've seen the evidence increase in ICE activity in major cities and even locally, and which has increased or further increased fear and misinformation. And it's important to know in times like these, or it's better to be important to be prepared, and instead of panicking, to educate yourselves in order to protect your communities. And yeah.
Also, just want to note that we're having an actual event with like a more in-depth training about ICE on March 9th. There'll be a flyer out eventually, but just kind of like a little bit of touching on what we're going to be talking about at this event later on. You can scroll. Thank you. So quickly, quickly, I just want to know, like, because I want engagement. So what are your current thoughts, feelings, and opinions regarding ICE, or what do you want to know more about? Like, what do you want from a training like this? If anyone wants to share, just have a little bit of like discourse quickly. Just want to give her.
I think ICE is bad.
Real? You go ahead.
So I guess I'm just wondering what exactly I can do as an individual, because I'm sure like a lot of other people have stressed plenty, but I guess what I can do besides donating and actively, because it sort of feels like when issues like these happen, there's a swell of emotion and then it kind of dies down, and I want to know what I can continually do that also is compatible with my working and studying.
Yeah. I think I understand that, because I think with something like this, we're seeing so much like constantly. It can feel very overwhelming, and also like we have no power over what can be done. And to some extent, that is true, where there's things that we can't really touch as students. So this will help us understand how we can, like, as individuals, just have information so that we can like spread that to other people and also give resources to people who might need it.
Hello. So there has been something I've been wanting to address. The misinformation part of this will be especially useful to me because I remember fall semester, I saw a lot of people go around claiming that there were like ICE sightings on campus, and I don't like ICE. Okay, I just want to make that clear. I worry sometimes about how we can accurately combat misinformation while also trying to preserve the student body safety. Because what if someone is like on Yik Yak, they're like, I saw an ICE vehicle, and how we can't verify if that's true. What if it causes unnecessary panic, etc.? I don't know. I think I'd like to learn more about that.
That will actually be covered here today, so we'll get to that very soon. Sharon?
I've brought it up by myself. I think my question is really just how do you get?
Can you use the mic? I really can't.
Fine. How do you kind of navigate ICE, knowing like as a person of color, you are especially susceptible, despite whether you are a citizen, not a citizen? It is sometimes fully like a at face value judgment that they are making based on your skin color, as opposed to, oh, we feel like you're here legally.
That will be covered too, but I would just say not engaging. We do have rights regardless of what they say about what we can and can't say, that we are allowed to leave a lot of situations, and also do not put your body on the line. At the end of the day, like the most important thing is your life and preserving your life. And so that will also be covered as well, but we'll also have more in-depth conversations at our next event. I'm glad that you guys are sharing things you want to learn so that I know what to cover next time we talk. Also say your name for the record, so for minutes.
My name is Savannah. I just have a couple questions in terms of like ICE and the SAVE Act. Like, are you guys going to touch base on that as well?
Not in this presentation, but that is something that BSU is actually going to be talking about. If you go on Instagram about some information for the SAVE Act, I'll share that resource for you guys later as well. Jacob.
So I think we can all agree that one of the main parts about ICE is that it's terrorism, and that it exists to scare people. So how through the SOJIC programming and the events that you guys run, how are you guys going to be giving people the hope to overcome that? What kind of teaching are you guys going to be doing, and groups you guys are going to be inviting? Because I know historically we've had groups like the ACLU, and those have been super informative. I've gone to those events, and they're really helpful when it comes to this stuff because it can give us kind of a good roadmap. So I guess in the next coming weeks and months, what are you guys looking to plan to help give resources to students and help them cope with some of the really difficult ideas they're going to have to deal with as this processes?
We're going to be focusing a lot on like community planning and like how to make verified groups and networks and people who can like share information, and also locating safe spaces on campus for people to come together to have these discussions, and also just people in networks who want to share resources, share space to be, because again, like I said, a lot of these things are kind of out of our reach, but like trying to be supportive of others and of yourself is kind of what we're trying to be, trying to focus on as we go on for the next few months. We'll take one more.
I'm Alexis. Read the microphone.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. So I think many people know that Mass is a sanctuary state, but with ICE targeting states in particular, how much protection is that actually offering? Or does it rate at all?
That's a great question. I actually am not fully sure on like what the rule is with now that for specific. Did you want to touch on that? Oh, thank you, Abby. I appreciate that.
Can someone give me a mic, please?
Behind you, behind you.
I'm not really answering the question, but I will say if you have specific legal questions, you should ask SLSO because they do have a lot of expertise in this area. That's where you're going to get the most accurate and up-to-date information. Ben is very friendly, so yeah.
Yes, that's also part of the presentation of like other people to go to who have a lot more information than you do. But we can go to the next slide because this is going to be again like a basic overview, more in depth as we go on. Go ahead.
So some background information, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, was formed under the Department of Homeland Security after 9/11, and its intended purpose was to enforce civil immigration laws, to investigate transnational crimes such as human trafficking, drug trafficking, and things of that nature. ICE's authority comes from federal law, but is constrained by the U.S. Constitution. It's important to note that because at the moment, our human rights and our constitutional freedoms are being violated.
So a little bit more. So obviously the original cause of ICE, Justin just explained, but right now ICE has expanded dramatically. So this means their budget has increased tenfold. I know they just signed a deal with the U.S. government for over $2 billion. And now they also have access to a lot more surveillance tools. I don't know if you guys saw the Ring ad for Super Bowl. That was the first connection I made, where it's like now that you can like search for your lost dog with all the tracking on the Ring camera, but that can also be used for existing in the surveillance state that we do to track other people. So I'm not going to say that that's what ICE is doing, but just aware that there are things that are surveilling us on a day-to-day, and that can also be tapped in by the government if needed. And then detention capacity, there has been these new facilities created to put people that they're trying to deport, but they're still currently in the country, and also when outside with direct leave. And then just the use of data sharing systems, that the government also has contracts with other people who have our data. So ICE is also able to take a look at that to find our information. So the issue right now is that the expansion has outpaced accountability and doesn't have the ability to enact widespread interior enforcement and community raids. So that's kind of like the biggest issue right now, is that they're performing above their capacity that we were, holding them accountable to. And how they actually operate is that they are able to target people who enter the country without authorization, overstay their visas, have prior removal orders, or allegedly violated immigration conditions. I want to make sure you guys note that these are often civil violations, not criminal charges. I think a lot of the rhetoric and ideology around ICE and immigrants and illegal, quote unquote, immigrants is that they are criminals or that they're committing crimes, but being in the country, again, quote unquote, illegally is not a crime. It's not a criminal charge. It is a civil violation. But on the other hand, because it is a civil violation, ICE does not need to prove a crime to arrest and detain somebody. So there is some discretion that is a little concerning because of the fact that it's not an actual crime. So just note that information to share with people if they, are saying things that aren't really true about people who are here unauthorized. A little bit about current climate as well. Many states are reporting increased ICE activity, public space encounters, and just heightened fear in immigrant communities. So these are things that international students on campus are also experiencing, having fears about their visas and things of that nature. So again, just being aware of the issues that some students might be facing that might affect their day-to-day lives. The current administration has started prioritizing removal of criminals. Like I said again, that's some rhetoric that is not often true when 1/3 of those arrested have no criminal record, and a lot of the other people who do have a criminal record. They're usually decade-old minor convictions that you would never even get more than a ticket for. So again, these are really important to know for the rhetoric that might be spread about people who are being taken. And then again, concerns about expansion. I don't know if you guys have heard of alligator Alcatraz in Florida. It was actually just now reported as a human rights violation. This is where they're putting people in these facilities with food and water, but not given as often, and with the lights on 24 hours. They're put in these really tight cells with over 40 people in one room, sharing one toilet. So they're just really, scary stuff going on all around.
These are documented deaths. Since January of 2026, 8 people have died at the hands of this entity. The names are Luis Gustavo Nunes Cáceres, Geraldo Dunas Campos, Victor Manuel Diaz, Peradilla, Renee Nicole Good, Luis Beltran Yanis Cruz, Heber Sanchez Dominguez, and Alex Preddy.
Just wanted to make sure I put those names so people know what's currently going on, and also give these people the respect that they deserve for obviously being their lives being taken at the hands of ICE. So again, now to what we as students or just people in general should know about what we can and can't do and what our rights are, regardless of your status. If you're here on the U.S. and on the soil, you have the right to remain silent. If anyone's approaching you, you do not have to say anything. Refuse to consent to search. The right to refuse entry without judicial warrant, which I'm going to talk about what the differences are soon. The right to speak to an attorney, and the right to document public enforcement activity. So on campus, if you were to see anyone with any marked clothing with ICE or police, the first thing is to verify credentials and warrants. They might, actually, let me pull it up right now, because they might give you, if possible, something like this. We have 3 examples of a warrant. One that is actually signed. I'm gonna put this in the SGA office so y'all can see it clear, but there's one that is actually signed and one that's kind of forged, or there's not actual information to enter a space or to talk to you. I'll pass it around so people can see as well, but it'll also be up front here in the office. But it's important to make sure you verify that there's actually a signature if they're trying to enter into a building that's not public. Also understand you have the right to ask, am I free to leave? If you don't want to say anything, if you want to leave, if they're not holding you, detaining you, or anything, you are able to ask if you're able to leave and you're able to leave that vicinity. You have every right to. It's actually important that you try to get as far away from that interaction as possible if you're able to. And then again, to stay calm and follow protocols to avoid confrontational behavior. Sharon was asking about the fear that we might have, specifically as people of color who might just be targeted in general. It's just important to don't talk back. I know how I would feel, but it's important to just stay as silent as possible to leave any situation that you do not have to be there for. And again, back to the warrants again, they might not need to speak to you if they don't have the proper rights or the proper warrants to talk to you. So just make sure they have that before you even say anything. And remember the rights again that you have to stay silent, to ask for a lawyer, for anything like that. And then lastly, do not interfere with document names, badges, numbers, times, locations. Anything you see, please write this down. And then record as well. You're able to record and any details on what ICE has said. But also it's really important that the information that you are spreading is accurate. One thing that I was talking to JD about is that if there is ICE anywhere nearby, they'll be the first to know. So if you hear it and you don't hear from anyone like administrative yet, maybe ask the student government leader, because we would be also in contact with JD, so we'll be able to share that information like that's correct and verified. But just make sure that the source you're getting it from is not just trying to spread fear.
So this is a point of confusion for me, because I recently learned that Massachusetts is like a 2-way consent state when it comes to filming people, and that includes, I was told, law enforcement. So are we actually allowed to film them, or how does that work? In what scenarios are we allowed to film them?
Public spaces. Sorry. Public spaces, you're still able to record that. That shouldn't be a problem.
In terms of reasonable expectation of privacy, which you don't have if you're walking.
Okay.
And then lastly, sorry, the UMass policy website for updates.
quick, that's the federal actions page, and you can sign up to get newsletter updates from anytime there's an update, whether it's a real ICE appearance on campus, they get, it's called the federal actions page. You can get emails whenever anything happens, whether it's real or fake.
Yes, thank you, Morgan. So creating a community plan is actually what the event that we're gonna be doing on March 9th is gonna talk about, where we'll discuss like step-by-step things to do if there are anything on campus and who to connect with and who you can be in community with to have a set plan, because we're stronger together, and I think it's important that we all have a plan. If in the worst case scenario anything were to happen, we would be prepared. So just building verified information networks, like I said, making sure there's trusted fact checkers, and people can approve or confirm any sightings, identify safe spaces, and then just personal safety planning. It's important to memorize emergency numbers. I only know my mom's number offhand, but if you know anyone, like it's just important just to know like emergency contact numbers, so that if anything were to happen where you're separate from your phone, you can have those numbers to call in case of an emergency. And then for people who apply to, memorizing your immigration A number, and then just keeping necessary copies of your documents.
For this event, sorry.
Pass the mic down.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. For this event, I wanted to ask, are you guys like working with any like community organizers who are already like doing ice trainings around the area? I know that like Holyoke and Smith College have been doing like similar trainings, and I wanted to know if like any community organizers like have been in contact about this. I think it also like be important just to like touch bases with our community as well.
No, this has actually been pretty a big effort, just our committee, and we're trying to reach for other like Massburg or any other SEPA or Sunrise if they're interested, but we haven't talked to any community. But I think that's actually a great idea. And since the event isn't for another 3 weeks, like I don't see why not we don't collaborate with them.
Yeah, is it possible if I like share?
Yeah, please
Okay,
do.
great.
I would love to. Questions, thoughts? Oh, yes.
Probably with my question. So I want to know what protocol will be put in place for SGA, like the administration and the campus security to collaborate and ensure student safety. If our eyes were to visit our campus, can the university also encourage security measurement to ensure the process is transparent and students are protected?
I'm currently not, I know I was talking to JD about a little bit what the police does, that they do have things in place and that they're very on top of everything, but a lot of their stuff is kind of not connected to student government. Our connection with them isn't as strong as me specifically, but I know that everything that they're doing is can be communicated to us to spread to other students to help them with any issues or any problem. But I don't know if they're doing anything with security or like increasing anything, because we haven't luckily seen anything on campus specifically, but I don't know what would happen if that were. So I think it's a great big topic to possibly dig into. Yeah, I think I could even just reach out to the chief of police and see what we can do. Salvina?
Oh, actually.
Hi.
I'm connected to and
Oh, let me get your microphone so that we can hear.
Okay, I said my name is Kwane. I'm an apprentice for the Center of Racial Justice Youth Board. And a resource that was recently shared with us is loose_hotline on Instagram. They're a verified source. We know that there are a lot of like misinformed sightings of ICE, and they're a source that like gets on them, checks them out immediately, and verifies or like lets us know if it was a false sighting. So I can share that with you too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to put all of this on one centralized doc to have to give to students as well. So any information that you guys feel is necessary that I obviously didn't touch on, please let me know. Darren.
Is it possible to have like SLSO, I don't know if like what their availability is, but like attending or assisting with resources for this event to make sure that they're like as accurate as possible?
Of course. Please go. And then these are a lot of the resources that we were just talking about that you can use to support the International Programs Office. They have referrals to on-campus resources and information regarding immigration status, and then the Student Legal Services Office can tell you all of the things about the laws that I can't. They are paid to do this, and they're really great people. I think if you have any questions, they're the best people to go to. And then, like Morgan was saying, the UMass Federal Actions page, they have any updates that is happening around campus or about how anything that the federal government is doing that how that might affect immigration is taking place on UMass. So just there is a place to constantly stay informed.
And then to end this, it's completely normal and it's justified to feel fearful for yourself, for your friends, for your community members during these unprecedented times. And it's important to lean on supports to make sure you're educated on the resources on campus and to take a break when needed. I think that wraps up the presentation.
Thank you, guys.
All right, does anyone else have anything for Committee of the Whole? Senator Shamu?
Hello. Oh, hi guys. I just want to add a little bit to Esther's and Justin's presentation, which was amazing. Actually, through SBS Rise, I am doing a year-long project where I will also be putting on an event for immigrant origin students, where I also will be providing resources. So if any of you guys will want to share any resources or help me add anything to that event, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, is there any other business for Committee of the Whole? If not, the Senate will be in order and the Committee of the Whole previously called into session stands adjourned. The Senate will now consider the remainder of the agenda. All right, guys, I know that was a lot of information just thrown at you, and unfortunately, it's going to be more of that for the rest of the night, but I ask that you guys please pay attention. At the end of the day, we're all here for these groups, and I'm up here standing for you guys. It's not comfortable. I get tired too, but please, it's just a little bit more of your attention is all I'm asking for. And we are now funding groups, so this is especially extra important that you guys pay attention. So please, everyone eyes up. And with that, the Senate will now consider S58, which is a motion to fund the Black Mass Communications Project at $33,547.55 from the DIA fund. I would now invite the group up to give their presentation.
Hey guys, back then. So I am one of the co-chairs for the DIA Fund Committee, and so we have 3 presentations going on tonight. Just context for all 3 of them, they passed favorably with the committee. If they're over 5,000, they do need to be presented to Senate, but again, they had all the details needed to get to the stage. We have money for all of them, and so just make sure you're being viewpoint neutral throughout the night when you are listening to these presentations.
Hi everyone, my name is Hayden Prabhawan. I'm the president of the Black Mass Communication Project.
And my name is Savannah Narcoe, and I'm the co-vice president of the Black Mass Communications Project.
First and foremost, with you guys in advance for hearing us out. We as an organization of UMass understand that this is a thorough process, and we appreciate your efforts for seeking our requests for further funding.
Some key topics that we're gonna talk and touch base on are just understanding what BMCP is, the ways we intend to engage with the student body as we've been doing for over a decade, and the importance of what SoulFest means to us as an organization and to our community as well.
So BMCP's legacy. SoulFest Week is a week that is full of celebrating hip hop and Black culture. It happens in the second to last week of April every year for the last, I think, 60 years now. All the organizations, cultural organizations, come together to put together a week of events starting from that Sunday or Monday, I believe, and ending in that next Sunday. As an organization, our engagement features collaborating with these organizations to engage the UMass community by showcasing our traditions and fostering unity. And through community connection, we do this week-long celebration, which builds relationships across campus, highlighting the diversity and the cultural richness of the UMass community. It's been a continued tradition, like I've said, it's been here for almost 60 years now. And it supports events like Code Black, which has become a very key tradition to SoulFest, along with many other events such as SoCus Juve, BSU, Skate-a-thon, and many more.
You may be asking, why the DF Fund? Well, as you all may know, as you all work in SGA and are part of the Senate, there were budget cuts, so we've all been subjected to that as cultural and regular organizations on campus. So due to this, it really imposed a lot of financial constraints on our organization, where we've had to find external resources such as the DF Fund, which we're very fortunate to be able to give this presentation to even be able to receive the fund. This also helps us host our annual barbecue, which is usually located in the Southwest Lot 33, and it's open to all the public, so students are more than welcome to join. And it's been free since we started this event, and we wanted to maintain that. So we're just hoping the DF Fund will be able to fund this event for us.
So, like Safia just mentioned, it is occurring in Lot 33. It is April 25th, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This year it's called the Soul University Barbecue, which will include free food from UMass Catering, with student performances, community building, and the promotion of fashion.
So our marketing plan kind of entails with us just uniting the students with food, culture, and music while maintaining safety, which will be maintained with having UMass police involved, as well as GMCS, which is the Green Mountain, I believe, security. We make sure that they cover all the bases so that we can maintain that security and maintain security measures throughout the event. Our target audience is undergrads, especially freshmen, just to give them kind of a feel of what the culture will be like and what we promote as organizations, and also encourage them to get involved. Also cultural organizations and students just seeking fun and more inclusive events on campus. Our promotion strategy is really short film content. We do a lot of that on our Instagram page, which is UMass BSU. You're more than welcome to see the history. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm also on BSU, that's right. UMass BMCP, you can see the history on there. And also it goes all the way down to the origin of the organization and our Instagram page, and you can see the promo, the skits, the countdowns, the outfit fits we have, as well as on our TikTok. We do a lot of cross collaboration with other organizations on our campus, including BSU, HASA, where we repost and also collaborate on the overall marketing plan for the organizations, for the multiple organizations involved in the event. We also do flyers, chalk, on the flooring around campus, same thing with Instagram posts and just some live engagement, like go-karting and talking to students on a regular basis.
So this is our inspiration for this year's SoulFest. Every year, we try to find a word that fits into the word soul, because it's just been our tradition. So last year, our theme was Soulchella. For those of you who were probably right in our presentation last year, I believe I spoke to you guys about that. So it was to, tie back to the music festival in California known as Coachella. So this year, our theme is Soul Prep, which is a academic street style that's very popular right now. The reason we decided to do it with Soul University is because, a uniform is something you would see at, a school and academic setting. So we decided to go in that direction, and that's just the theme for this year.
So our funding strategy, starting with the DF fund, this is like our core funding for like the sound equipment and our live entertainment, as well as our event operations and risk management. Our second is fundraising and additional grants. So we got approved for the ECSA grant for $5,000. We also did a fundraiser in the fall with Atkins where we were able to raise money through that as well. And we also ticket events like homecoming and so our Soul Fest party, which is also known as After Hours, which was also known previously as Code Black, which was held in the Mullen Center. But unfortunately, due to the budget cuts that we are facing and all the organizations have been facing, we had to limit it to the Student Union Ballroom. And we really believe that we should receive this fund just because this is an event that has been put on for years for a lot of students. Like we have up to 1,500 students that engage in this event like itself within the barbecue and attending the after hours party, as well as it being 100% free so students don't have to pay, which is also something that we want to continue to maintain to also boost inclusion and just like community on campus, because I know like students also don't really like to pay for events. I feel like it's a common thing, like they won't go if they have to pay. So this kind of just like gives them kind of like a
leeway.
Yeah, like leeway to, like there's like an incentive, like, like it's just like everything's free for you. So yeah, and also it gives SGA visibility to also see like we're not pocketing this money just for like, our own personal expenses, but it's really for the community and what we want to continue to produce.
So this is basically our timeline for how everything goes in terms of planning Soulfest. So we have our meetings, which we brainstorm ideas, assign tasks, track progress, and we have our collaboration meetings, which happen with campus organizations, the ones who are part of Soulfest, which are happening currently. As like, for example, tomorrow we are meeting to have an additional meeting to discuss our promotional plan and things of that nature. Then, within the next month, we'll be reaching out to our vendors, which means securing sound equipment, securing EMTs, services, like bathroom rentals and things of that nature. In March, we really start to promote the event. We post flyers, hold social media campaigns, collaborations with other orgs across our Instagram. And then in April, we do our final preparations, which means we confirm our services with all our vendors, make sure that everything is secured. They know where to deliver certain things, when to remove them. And then April 25th is when we have the barbecue. So it's from the morning to the afternoon. It's the food, cultural performances, activities. And then at night is our Code Black party, which is now our after hours party. And it's celebrating the Student Union Ballroom, like Savannah just mentioned. And then in early May, like really late April, we discuss the event. We discuss how to make it better for the next year and how to make sure it keeps happening for the years following.
This event aligns with our mission statement, and just because it aligns with the university's mission for equity and inclusion by enriching cultural understanding, promoting diversity, and creating opportunities for connection and collaboration among students and faculty that are alike. It also allows for the celebration and appreciation for African American culture on our campus, which contributes to the richer tapestry of experiences within the UMass community and beyond. And it also emphasizes inclusion and hospitality by welcoming individuals from all backgrounds to participate and enjoy, building a sense of belonging and community for everyone involved. Additionally, also it aligns with our mission statement and our constitution, which our organization is to spread Black culture through the lens of hip hop and music culture on our campus, and we're able to do that with this event as well.
As Savannah briefly just covered, it just allows student leadership and engagement. It provides leadership opportunities to all the students who are part of the organization as part of Soulfest, and allows them to further develop their skills and collaborate among student organizations. It enhances UMass's reputation. It positions UMass as an institution that values diversity and supports cultural initiatives. And with the financial need, budget cuts have been impacted to our funding, and any contribution from SGA would support the event's continuation and impact.
Just to touch a little bit more base on how it aligns with our mission, it promotes diversity and inclusion by reinforcing our UMass's commitment to cultural celebration through student-led events, cultural enrichment, showcasing Black culture through music, performances, and food, fostering cross-collaborative and cultural understanding as well as community building, bringing students together and strengthening connections and promoting a sense of belonging among students.
This is just essentially our cost breakdown. Police is around $1,600. Sound is $25,000, and sound that is not just like speakers or what you would think is like, you know, really basic. It actually includes stages that are like pretty expensive, and it's like really intricate like sound things, because we do have DJs who are at the barbecue who are, you know, doing this thing for us. So it's like it requires a lot of like just intricate electrical wiring that I just will never understand. But security is around $3,300. DJs is of $3,400. EMTs are around $197, probably a bit more, which brings out to that total that we have requested.
UMass and BMCP, our event is historically brought together and brings together diverse communities, as I've stated before, about, you know, celebrating Black culture through hip hop music, dance, and shared connection. With this gathering, we aim to uphold these values while advancing UMass's commitment to cultural diversity and inclusion.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Questions?
Chair Trong, you're recognized.
I have one point of clarification and I have one question, if that's good. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for presenting. I guess I just wanted to double check. You guys are requesting the $33,547.55. And then that's out of the, I think I added up the events out of the total 35,000. So is the rest of that coming from revenue? I'm just curious.
Because we requested 35,000, so you're asking like the remainder, or like, are you talking about our total?
The total evidence says 35,000, and then what's being requested out of the DIA is around 33,000. So I was just curious where if the other 2,000 is coming from, like revenue.
Oh yeah, it'll be coming from the ECSA grant that we were awarded as well, and the revenue that we have in our revenue fund.
Point of clarification. That we cannot consider the longevity like of an event for funding requests. That's just a quick point of clarification.
Thank you. Chair Kim, you're recognized.
Real quick, how much did you guys make from fundraising? I believe it was in November.
It was very little. It was only $200.
Thank you. Chair Mello.
Hi, I was curious. I know you talked a little bit about security, but I was curious about the decisions between like the security, police, and EMTs for the cost. Like, was that given to you by the university, or like where did you come up with those numbers?
Those are from the previous invoices of those services and that we have had in the past. So we've told them out to those costs because we rent from Green Mountain Security, EMTs, and police as the numbers that they have given us in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Chair Trong, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a quick point of clarification. Generally speaking, for like larger events, it's required that RSOs like they need to have like police security from Green Mountain Security, as well as EMT. So that's just like generally standard.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification. Senator Lamore, you're recognized.
Okay, I have two questions. One, when you say sound, are we including things like performers in sound? And also, your bracelet is quite pretty. Where did you get it from?
Thank you. For sound, we are counting for the stage that's like predominantly where the amount comes from, and the speakers to fund the whole lot itself. And the stage is also set up for, I believe, 3 days. So it's not just like us using the stage. So it's like 4 performers and 4 DJs, but it's not like subjected just solely to them. Also Pandora.
Thank you. Happy Ash Wednesday to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's keep questions relevant to the business at hand, please. Are there any further questions? All right, is there a second for the motion? Does there exist a need for debate on the motion? Did I miss a question? No. Okay. Need for debate? With no indication of a need for debate, The motion is called and the question is on the passage of S58, a motion to fund the Black Mass Communications Project at $33,547.55 from the DIA fund. Those in favor of passage, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Those abstaining say abstain. The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Senate will now consider S59 things. A motion to fund the National Pan-Hellenic Council at $5,000 from the DIA fund. I'll invite the representatives of the group to come up and present.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Hansley Remford. I am the vice president of, I'm the president of National Pan-Hellenic Council. And we have a member here as well, just representing us. So what is the National Pan-Hellenic Council? It is the umbrella that encompasses the the Black Greek letter organizations. There are 9 of them. We're also known as the Divine Nine. I'm a part of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I was initiated spring 2025.
I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I was initiated fall 2025.
And so just kind of our pillars of the National Pan-Hellenic Council, scholarship, service, leadership, and community. So we try to bring all these 9 different organizations all on these pillars on just as a kind of governing council for our, yeah. So the overall program overview for our event that is coming up is it's a lip sync battle. We wanted to bring something fun and inclusive for our first event back. We had the National Pan-Hellenic Council has been here at UMass for multiple years, but with the lack of Black Greek organizations on campus and active the last couple of years, we haven't had a real event happen. So we came up with the idea. Actually, it was a idea from Sid. I don't know if you guys probably do know Sid, but he gave us the idea, like, why don't you guys just do something like a lip sync battle? And so we decided that we would go with that, and we wanted to add our own spin to it. So we'll have contestants that will come in, they'll represent their own like celebrity lookalike or whoever they would like to represent. And then in between, we'll also do a special Divine Nine step show. We're trying to get organizations. As we said, there isn't all organizations active here on campus, but there's 9 of us, there's 3 of them active. So we'd be asking other organizations within our umbrella, just from different schools, to come in and show UMass students what exactly the National Pan-Hellenic Council is. So it's more of it's going to be a fun event for students of UMass, but also an educational one so that they understand what the National Pan-Hellenic Council is. And so what we'll be doing is our main source is going to be social media and flyers. We're also going to be we're going to be also presenting with the BMCP that just came out. They have like a big umbrella of all the other cultural organizations that we're meeting with, and we're gonna promote with them as well. And yeah, we're gonna open up applications for people to join. It can be individuals, it can be other cultural orgs that want to have a representative from their org present and do as big of a show as they can and as they want. And it's gonna be a competition, so there'll be 2 rounds. A student or org will go, all of them will go in 1 round, and then the students and the host will choose who goes into the second round. So this aligns with our UMass's mission and us also ours, so with community and service as well, because we're trying to include and center towards Black artistry and cultural contribution. We're providing representation for historically marginalized communities, and we're creating an inclusive space for open to all students, as well as encouraging cross-cultural engagement. And just a little bit of the breakdown. So because this is our first event that we've been doing for a while, ever since we're being active again, we kind of just got breakdowns for, we requested 5,000 exact. After contacting some of the places here on campus, Fine Arts being one of them, we got our breakdown for what we would like to spend the money on. We have DJs there for the amount of time. It will be around 500. Videographers, photographers, some light snacks and water for contestants who will be participating. And then overall, just the others, just UMass provided things that add up to those 5,000. And then lastly, our planning process is that we do have an executive board, which is including of people from all of the 9 organizations, and we started beginning planning in the fall, and we're coming back into spring. We are having weekly meetings so that we get logistics and we get our marketing and our performer recruitment, and then we already finalized our budget, but knowing exactly where our budget is going to, what exactly is being spent for what. Yeah, that's all. Any questions?
Caramello, go ahead.
I was curious.
You can use this one if you want.
Hi, so thank you for your presentation. I was curious about the choice between the 3 photographers and 3 videographers. If you could give a little bit of background on the process for choosing them, like what the quantity means.
So the quantity means the hours. So it's going to be, invoices, we usually we're getting invoices for the per hour. That's the service that they provide. So since it's going to be 3-hour event, that's where that quantity comes from. This was also just like what I was using for planning and just how I go about the budget.
Thank you. And what was the process for finding the videographer and photographer?
Yes, so I'm a part of other organizations here on campus, so I am connected with some DJs and some videographers and photographers. Specifically, we use some invoices from one of my other orgs, Hasa, who used Eli as a DJ a couple last semester for another event that we had, and I just used that exact invoice for the exact amount of time for our price.
Senator Lamore, go ahead.
Just to clarify about the catering, I'm a bit curious, who or what is WB Mason? And secondly, to clarify, by dining, you mean UMass dining, right?
Yeah, so with WB Mason, that's one of the services that UMass is connected with ordering here on campus. During cultural council meetings, our advisors actually were not required, but encourage us to use WB Mason over at Amazon because it's cheaper and a vendor that we use here. So.
Yeah, you might have seen their trucks around there. They're all over. Also, in the supplemental materials folder, this specific part of the application is available. It's the PDF called grant_Excel. So if you want to take a look at that. Chair Tron, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a quick point of clarification. WB Mason is as he said, it's what admin and cycle finance suggest that RSOs use because generally speaking, it's at a cheaper price and it's university discounts. I would also like to note that The reason why this is here today, because this is 5,000, so technically this is not required to go through Senate. And so when we met on, I believe it was Monday, we approved it conditionally on the fact that it would go to Senate because this invoice was not attached at this time. And so that's why this presentation is here today.
And that we do plan on getting those invoices and everything with planning going on further.
Thank you. Any further questions? Vice President Olivo, question? And can we get a mic back there too, please?
So just for clarification, we were not presented with the invoices that we requested.
If I recall, there was not, or either it wasn't presented or the link wasn't like working because of like the way the PDFs work. Yes, this is the correct invoice to clarify. That was.
Is there a question? Yeah, Chair Mello, go ahead.
Do you have any further like documentation or anything? Are these like links active for the invoices?
We, so the fund was kind of our, like, the deciding factor on having this event. Like, as I mentioned, this is our first event coming back, and we would like to, we knew about the resources of DIA and other grants, so without funding, there would, basically we're getting those currently, like we're actively, with the approval of DIA, we're going to go further into getting those resources and all the other required to actually put on this event for the UMass.
Yeah, Chair Mello.
Point of information, are we allowed to approve without like invoices or proof of cost? Like I'm not sure about the process here on our side. Thanks.
Aaron?
Sorry for the confusion. Yeah, so this is what was presented at DIA on Monday, and we approved it conditionally on the fact that like the links on the right side would be added when presented to Senate, as required with the DIA funding guidelines.
Chair Kim, go ahead.
Have these numbers been added on like a live link, and like has the estimated cost been updated accordingly?
I can actively edit them in. Like, I could do that now. They're not currently up.
Motion for a 10-minute recess? No?
Not yet.
Okay.
Chair Mello?
Motion to table for further clarification on getting actual invoices for this.
What's
It would be
the
until-
duration of the tabling?
Wouldn't tabling typically be one Senate meeting?
So to the next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just till next Wednesday, same time.
Motion to table, the motion has been called. Is there a second? Does the sponsor wish to give a factual description for the tabling?
Yeah, I think the proposal overall looks fine, but I think it would be beneficial for us to get additional clarification, or even if it's like any form of proof of the vendors, the potential invoices, past information you have, anything there for finances would be needed, I think, for this.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, are there any questions, Chair Tron?
Yeah, I guess this is more of a question. So do you guys currently have the invoices that you can like link right now if we were to go into recess?
From past events, not for this specific event. So. Yeah, I have the DJs, I have the videographers, I have the photographers, all those specific ones, like actual invoices. I do have the links and stuff I can also grab. Because their rates are the same.
Are there any questions about the motion to table? It's been called and seconded. Does there exist a need for debate on the motion to table? With no indication of a need for debate, the motion is called to table S59, a motion to fund the Pan-Hellenic Council of $5,000 from the DIA fund to the next meeting of the University Undergraduate Senate on February 25th. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstain say abstain. All right, the ayes have it. The motion is tabled until February 25th. All right, so the motion has been tabled. It'll be reconsidered next week. In the meantime, we'll move on to our last new business for this meeting. Quiet, please. The Senate will now consider S60, a motion to fund the Haitian American Students Association at $9,960.72 from the DIA fund. I would now like to invite the presenting representatives from the presenting group to give the presentation.
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm the secretary for the Haitian American Association, and this is our request for the SGA DIA fund to help fund our Peach pageant, which is happening this Friday in the Student Union Ballroom from 6 to 10:30 p.m. So HASA's charity event, Peach Pageant, will be held in the SUE. It is a celebration of the different cultures present within the UMass community while serving as an educational showcase of Haiti and its current political issues. Contestants will partake in a friendly competition while given the opportunity to highlight and showcase their culture. Attendees will engage, support, and enjoy the cultural displays brought by our contestants and invited performers, as well as vote for the most deserving contestant for an award. This event supports the university's mission of equity and inclusion by enriching cultural understanding, promoting diversity, and creating opportunities for connection and collaboration among students and faculty alike. It allows for the celebration of appreciation of Haitian culture, which contributes to a richer tapestry of experiences within the UMass community. This is also especially important due to the political turmoil in Haiti currently, and emphasizes inclusivity and hospitality by welcoming individuals from all backgrounds to participate and enjoy with the sense of belonging for everyone included. So with our broad student impact, it provides students with opportunities for cultural exploration, social interaction, and community engagement. As I mentioned before, contestants will be promoting their countries and the cultures that they're a part of, which will aid in further exploring and educating the UMass community about what their culture is and what they're representing. It's an opportunity to learn about Haitian and broader African culture, traditions, music, and cuisine, which fosters cultural awareness and appreciation. By welcoming students from different backgrounds, the event promotes inclusivity and reinforces our commitment to diversity. And students have the opportunity to network with other students of the Haitian community, UMass alumni, and faculty, offering them a chance to expand their social and professional networks.
Eyes up, everyone, please. This is our last presentation. Thank you.
This is our marketing plan. So we have an Instagram page at UMass HASA. We have flyers for the event, which is one of them right here, and which lists the prices and the prizes to promote the event. We have posted like TikTok almost, I think, every single day since we've gone on winter break, which you can look at our Instagram and you'll see that we have posted quite clearly every single day. And today we actually used golf carts to promote it around campus. So we were driving and picking up people and promoting them to buy tickets to attend the event on Friday. We've distributed flyers to everyone we know. We put them on hotspots on campus, residential communities, bus stops, handed out to people around campus. We also sent out emails to our members who are part of our Campus Pulse organization and just encourage them to attend and celebrate the Haitian culture. And like I mentioned before, like today was part of our Peach Week. So we had a mask making general body meeting, which happened yesterday, where we invited students to come and create masks for the event because the event is masquerade themed. So we encourage students to come and make a mask and come to the event in a mask. Like I said, today was golf karting, and then additionally, members of our e-board have been taking over our Instagram and showing them, the day of our lives, while additionally answering questions about the event and HASA as a whole. This is our fundraising plan. So we have participated in numerous fundraising efforts in the spring to prepare for Peach pageants, such as bake sales, bingo, donation cards, and the Minute Fund. The hostel revenue account will cover the remaining expenses of the event. This is a breakdown of essentially what we are purchasing, the total, and the requests that we are requesting you guys for the DIA fund. So if you just want to take a look at that. This is our logistical plan. So music, the Asian contestants' cultural music will be played by 1 to 2 DJs to reflect the diversity of the event. The host of the Peach Pageant will be briefed on the event logistics to facilitate professional and smooth transitions of events and promote engagement. Fun fact, the hosts of Peach Pageant are me and Hensley this Friday, so if you'd like to really also see us on stage, please do come. Then we have student performers who will be coming to, promote their cultural dance. So we have the compa team, which is part of PASA. They'll be performing this on Friday, as well as additional performers like Zoka and Aphrodite's, I believe. And then we have refreshments, light refreshments will be served. And in terms of space, we have 350 max attendees, which is what District Union Ballroom is providing us with. And we have the SUB and the Cape Cod Lounge booked from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. And then for risk management, we have 4 Green Mountain concert security staff to serve as crowd managers, and they arrive at 5:30 and leave at 11. These are invoices that we have received. This is for the DJ who will be providing DJ services for the event. Testimonials. So this is just a screen grab of a newsletter that the Collegian wrote about us. This was our debut event and was featured in the Collegian in 2024. And it's just a little blurb about what someone had to say about our event. And we would just like to extend a gracious thank you to the DFN community for their time and consideration for this request of $5,800. Thank you. Any questions?
Can you clarify, are you requesting 5,800 or 9,960?
I believe, I actually didn't read the slide, so I believe it's whatever you requested. I think she might have been.
Yeah, Darren, Gianna, Esther. All right, thank you. So the amount listed in the agenda and the motions packet is the correct amount, $9,960.72. Are there questions for the group? Chair Trong, go ahead.
First, point of clarification. So this request was originally submitted 21 days in advance to the DIA Fund Committee, and then I believe it was tabled up until this Monday. So the original request was 21 days in advance in compliance with the DIA funding guidelines. And then my question was if we could just get share access to 3 of the pieces of evidence. I believe the DJ, the decorations, and the GMCS. We don't have access to the invoices.
Could you repeat that again? Which items was it?
I believe the DJ, the decorations, and the GMC. I think the DJ may have been on the presentation.
And GMCS, you said? All of them? It's the Google Drive files you guys linked in the invoices section of your spreadsheet. Yeah. Yeah, if you could just change it to like anyone with the link. I think right now we can't see it. Vice President Olivo?
The this fundraising plan is the one that's reflected in their application is the request for food. It's the catering request. The catering request on this fundraising plan is $220, and in the DIA fund application is for $4,366. So if we could just have access to that invoice and then open it for Senate, so we can see what that. Yeah.
The amount listed is, can you zoom in a little? 4,366. Can we pass a mic back there, please?
So just in case anybody didn't hear me, this is what was reflected in the application that the DIA fund reviewed, the DIA fund committee reviewed, pardon me. And then this presentation that's being given by the members of HASA just reflects a different number. Looks like a mistake. And it's just not, that number is not the one that the DIA fund committee was given when we voted. So we voted favorably for this number in terms of catering. If there's any questions about, for the DIA fund committee as to those numbers, I will take them now.
With the total of 9,960 and 70.
Yes.
Okay.
So all the other numbers reflected in the presentation from HASA is, all those numbers are correct. This is the only one that's different. It's just a mistake.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Are there any questions for the group? Yeah, Chair Tron.
We've been given access to the DJ declarations and then the GMCS invoices.
Our president is the one who has access to this. She's currently in RA on duty, so we just have to call her to see what she'll be able to share with you guys.
Does anyone have any questions that could be answered without the invoices? Chair Mello, go ahead.
I was curious about when the invoices are due, as the event is this Friday. So I was curious if you guys know like the timeline of like when you guys need to submit the payments for.
I work in the source, so I know like with invoices at least, as long as it's an invoice, especially with UMass, you're allowed to pay it after the event.
That's correct. Thank you. Are there any more questions? Yeah, Senator Wu. Can anyone pass a mic down there, please?
Can I motion for like a brief recess while we get the invoices and they can contact their president, please?
What's the word on the invoice?
I just contacted her. She said she didn't
Yeah, I got nothing.
Is it? Can we motion?
No. Because we're gonna lose quorum if we let you guys leave. I'll entertain a motion to table. And we'll wait for the invoice.
And then SJP, and then SJP like stopped talking to us because they thought we had or something. So thank God the crisis
I'm also sorry that last year, so he might. Yeah, I hope so. It's like, well, it's
I really don't like the resident directors.
Resident
directors like all the residents.
So you need to need for that.
That's
No, I also do Excel. Okay, I
So That's a terrific point.
You're not.
I'm just always on camera.
Me.
I lost my BPA this past Not, I mean, a little bit.
So if they table
You hate vision. Oh, that's not. I mean, that is the railway. The New York City Railway. Or what? Not nobody wants to go to New York. Well, nobody wants to go to
The chair.
Battle left and battle.
Everyone does it at least yeah.
I'm really happy with the
I also want to go outside.
My chair.
Why don't you ask them if they are outside? No, you can just like be this way.
Oh man.
It's diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. Yes. Yeah, well, when you're paying for something through a public institution like we are, you get the invoices that requested pay, which is received beforehand through for the SATF funds or your revenue fund, which are managed by sector. Yeah, it's a more formal quote, and then that's strictly approved by them. That makes it
So like, let's say in the election process.
If you're at my shoulders, and now I'm at your shoulders, this is what I'm
I
feel like what you said was
every year
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna be
Oh, go ahead, say it. You said like a lot of interesting things.
interesting things. I like interesting things.
Very little. What is it? How do you say? No, I think it's like really terrible to like
My mom doesn't want to say the C word because of
yes, it's like said by like a 4chan.
For the
Oh, it's a 4chan.
But like, I feel like
I'll be there for a while, but then I just stopped.
yeah.
That was like my favorite word. Good word. So now I'm back to 20.
And I've been -5 billion forever.
So, do people actually go to the home and say that part every day on this list?
I was shivering earlier.
As a joke, they're gonna do it as a joke.
This guy's really
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I feel like you're like throwing
Your
shit.
name starts with a J, so it's like
Now, hers, she's just
too much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's too much, Jess. Is that your tone of husband?
I forgot a bit.
Oh, there's a bit.
There's a part at the end.
Everyone back to your seats, please. We have all the invoices. We have all the invoices. So here is the invoice for DJ Marcello at $500. This is the decorations that are being purchased. I'll go through this one a little. All right, and here is Green Mountain Security Company, or CS, GMCS. So crowd security, that's what it is. To a total of $833.19. Yeah, check him. Is this an old one?
Sometimes for events that like typically like reoccur, for example, Green Mountain Security, that cost like stays the same, and so they're allowed to use invoices from previous year.
So again, the total amount for Green Mountain is $833.19. Are there any additional questions? All right. Is there a second for the main motion? Does there exist a need for debate? No indication of a need for debate. The motion is called. The question is on the passage of S60, which is a motion to fund the Haitian American Students Association at $9,960.72 from the DIA fund. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Those abstaining say abstain. The ayes have it and the motion is passed. Congratulations. All right, guys, that was a little weird. I'm very sorry, but thank you all for your attention and patience. I'll try to get us out of here as quick as I can. We'll move on to officer reports. Is the student trustee here? No. Is the president here? No. Vice president?
Hi, sorry, I'm gonna do this really quick, but today during Esther's wonderful presentation about ICE, there was a lot of, in the first few slides, there was some conversations about surveillance. In our meetings with the Vice Chancellor with Vice Chancellor Perdomo and our soon-to-be conversations with Dr. Blakely, a lot a lot of what we talked about last semester is about surveillance and surveillance here on campus at UMass. If you have opinions about surveillance, especially like in this time where we're having more conversations about ICE and having more conversations about how do we protect our international students, etc. I'd love to hear your questions, comments, concerns, specifically about surveillance at UMass. UMass is one of the most heavily surveilled universities in the United States. I'm not sure if you know that. We rank very high. We have a lot of cameras per student who walks on this campus. So I would love to have conversations about surveillance as we enter rooms with people who can actually listen to concerns that we have and can make differences about surveillance on campus and whether or not we welcome more surveillance on campus or if maybe we don't. Thank you.
My report out's in the packet. Ramadan Mubarak and Happy Ash Wednesday to everyone who's observing.
Okay, my report out's in the packet, but I just wanted to add something about absences. If you want your absence excused, you need to provide documentation. If you have like a work thing that can just be like a screenshot from your schedule or something, it doesn't have to be like any like formal documentation, but I do need some form of documentation that is proof of whatever reason that you need your absence excused. And if you submit the form and you don't hear from me, you can assume that your absence has been excused. I'm not gonna email everyone and tell them that their absence has been excused. So it's only if you hear from me that it wouldn't be excused.
It's a very specific thing. So I had a test that's coming up and I put the form by included a screenshot of like the teacher itself showing the slides.
Yeah, that works, yeah. Some proof, if it's like a picture of the slideshow from class that says like my test date is this, that works fine. So, okay, thank you guys.
Does any cabinet secretary wish to make a report at this time? Secretary Nevins, you're recognized. Let's keep it brief, please.
I got a couple things. I will try and keep them very brief. I met with the Student Legal Services Office in regard to what's happening with the U cards at the front of the dining halls, them taking and verifying our identities. I was trying to see if that was in any way legally disproportionately affecting other students compared to the masses, i.e. if this was violating trans students' rights. This would have been through Title IX. We reviewed what national law, state, and local laws there are. Unfortunately, at this past year, the Trump administration revised Title IX back to its pre-2020 state, and what they're doing does not, according to federal law, disproportionately affect transgender students on this campus. With the law that was changed during 2020, during the Biden administration, it would have, but it no longer does. Furthermore, I had a meeting with the Campus Planning and Resources Committee. It's a very, very important committee. We heard from Ryan Bamford himself about the changes they're making to athletics. They're trying to self-fund a lot of them. I had a lot of questions in regard to why the focus should be on athletics when we have a severe basic needs issue, as was seen by the Dean of Students. I think this should be a continuing student position that we need to really understand where our money's going, whether it's going to a 0 and 12 season or whether it's going to make sure that students are fed safe and happy on this campus. We also talked about some of the climate initiatives that the Chancellor's administration is going through right now. So far, so good. We have some comments, me and the Secretary of Sustainability want to dive deeper into that. We have some concerns about a couple of their proposals, specifically on the feasibility and the cost of them and whether or not they're actually going to be providing us the success that is being said. We need to meet some really fundamental benchmarks that the governor has set out through her executive orders on our carbon neutrality indexes. So we'll keep you updated as that goes through, but so far so good, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you. Are there any faculty senate or advisory board representatives who wish to make a report? All right. Committee chairs, anything quick? Chair Kim, go ahead.
Okay, sorry guys, just one quick point of clarification. The candidates meeting on Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m. That is online. It's gonna be on Zoom. It's not gonna be in person. You can make it from anywhere. And one other thing related to ICE, as of January 29th, Governor Moore Healy of Mass, she issued an executive order saying that ICE is not allowed to conduct operations in the place of worship, courthouses, schools, childcare facilities, and hospitals, and they can't make civil arrests in non-public areas of state-owned properties. And also that none of that is also to say that we should inhibit or stop ICE physically or take any action that would be unlawful.
Thanks. Chair Onyeka, go ahead.
Quickly, thank you guys for the for all of the feedback on my presentation. So for the event, we'll have hopefully everything that you guys are talking about we can incorporate. But just want to say that next Monday and Tuesday we'll be having anti-racism tabling. We'll be having resources, stickers, and just some things to engage with to talk about what anti-racism is on campus for Black History Month. I think it's important to make sure that we are aware of how we can talk about our implicit biases and how we can uplift students of color on campus. So just stop by Student Union from 12 to 4, Monday and Tuesday.
Any other chairs? All right, cool. JD, anything? No. Is there any other business for today's meeting? All right, seeing none, the Associate Speaker will conduct the ending roll call.
Senator Shrafi. Senator Shrafi, present. Senator Bauman. Senator Bauman, present. Senator Baker. Senator Baker, present. Senator Blair. Senator Blair, present. Senator Breen. Senator Breen, present. Senator Calvo. Senator Calvo, present. Senator Chamo. Senator Chamo, absent. Senator Chaparro. Senator Chaparro, present. Senator DeRiggi. DeRiggi, present. Guys, if I could just have quiet for another couple minutes so that way I can hear. Thank you. Chair Dominey. Chair Dominey, absent. Senator Dang. Senator Dang, present. Senator Pachiso. Senator Pachiso, present. Senator Haycock. Senator Haycock, present. Senator Espinal. Senator Espinal, absent. Senator Hirondani. Donnie. Chair Hood. Chair Hood, present. Senator Huang. Senator Huang, present. Senator Conan. Senator Conan, present. Senator Keel. Senator Keel, present. Senator Kennedy. Kennedy, absent. Chair Kim. Chair Kim, present. Senator Bison. Senator Bison, present. Senator Moore. Senator Moore, present. Senator Murray. Senator Murray, present. Senator Marcos. Senator Marcos, present. Senator Meeson. Senator Meeson, absent. Chair Mello. Chair Mello, present. Senator Morales-Aquino. Senator Morales-Aquino, absent. Senator Ng. Senator Ng, present. Senator Nalivo. Senator Nalivo, present. Chair Nguyen. Chair Nguyen, absent. Chair Onyeka. Chair Onyeka, present. Senator Deesh Patel. Senator Deesh Patel, absent. Senator Roddy Patel.
I mean, it happens. I get paid for it.
Right.
Not that big of a deal.
Guys, please, I can't hear. Senator Rhea Patel. Senator Rhea Patel, present. Senator Reed. Senator Reed, present. Senator Rogers. Senator Rogers, present. Senator Saini. Senator Saini, absent. Senator Schuette. Senator Schuette, present. Senator Siegel. Senator Siegel, present. Senator Sun. Senator Sun, present. Chair Seversky. Chair Seversky, present. Senator Tackey. Senator Tackey, present. Senator Dwani. Senator Dwani, present. Senator Tao. Senator Tao, absent. Senator Tick. Senator Tick, present. Senator Torngrib. Senator Torngrib, present. Chair Trong. Chair Trong, present. Senator Vodka. Senator Vodka, absent. Senator Valencia Gallego. Senator Valencia Gallego, absent. Senator Bender Wilson. Senator Bender Wilson, present. Senator Verma. Senator Verma, absent. Senator Walker Hoover. Senator Walker Hoover, present. Senator Wu. Senator Wu, present. Senator Golu. Senator Golu, present.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? All right, all those in favor say aye. Okay, yeah, you guys got it. Sorry, everyone. Good night, good night.